God is up to something, and I'm just glad to be part of it. Here's how the story goes for me. Started on a Wednesday night. Our church, Valley Christian Church, has a Wednesday night prayer fellowship that I'm part of. And I was led to just be praying about, like, God, what's the next step? We seem to be kind of stuck here. We're in this huge building, weighed down with a mortgage. The most of our budget is building, staff, and utilities. We can't really do anything. And it just feels like we're stuck. What's the next step, God? That was Wednesday night. The following Tuesday was a meeting of the elders, a regularly scheduled meeting of the elders, of which I am part at Valley. And I shared how felt led to pray that prayer. And our lead pastor, Dave Burkham, says, "You just prayed that this last Wednesday?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "Wait till you hear what happened on Thursday." He had gotten a call out of the blue from a pastor at a local church, another church, Southland City Church, that meets at the Lakeville North High School. Got a call from him saying, "This may sound a little strange coming out of the blue, but would you be willing to talk about the possibility of selling your building and property to us?" Well, that was a kind of a strange request, but you go, well, sure, we can talk about anything. And in fact, he got another call from another congregation with the same question. This may sound a little strange coming out of left field, the whole thing. So we really felt like we had to talk about this. And back and forth with Southland City Church, they came to take a closer look at the building with a signed letter of intent. I mean, they were serious about this and made an offer that would obviously totally take care of our mortgage, allow us to buy something else, and end up still with a nest egg for a strategic fund, some funds to actually do something with when it was all done, and be totally out of debt. Awesome. So lots of discussion, lots of praying, but finally came down to, well, if we can find some place to go, this really seems like a smart thing to do. And that was an elders meeting. We after several meetings, didn't happen all at once, but finally came to that conclusion. Lead pastor Dave Burkham went home that night, turned his phone back on because he'd had it turned off during the elders meeting, and there was a text waiting him from Pastor CJ at Southland. All it was a picture of a church building. And Dave texts back saying, question mark? What? And Pastor CJ texts back, says, "I think I found your new location." It was a picture of a local building, Bethlehem Lutheran Church in Lakeville. They were sitting on several acres that they wanted to build on, trying to figure out how to pull the trigger on that and make that happen. What do we do with our current facility, all that. So our pastor, Burkham, the next day drives over to Bethlehem Lutheran, starts talking to the, I think it was the youth pastor that happened to be at the building. Yay, youth pastors, you're actually working all the time. I know what that's like. Anyway, he walks up and says, "This may sound a little strange coming out of left field for you, but just wonder." And the guy says, "Wait, you're here to talk about maybe buying our building, aren't you?" Yeah, because they've been praying about what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Long story short, here's how it all ends up. Southland City Church, meeting at Lakeville North High School, purchases Valley Christian Church's land and building. Valley Christian Church purchases Bethlehem Lutheran Church's buildings and land. And Bethlehem Lutheran Church is now meeting at Lakeville North High School, which is just down the road from the acreage that they are beginning to build on. So this three-way church shop. Oh, and what kind of stories can I tell you about how God made it abundantly clear that his thumbprint was on all of this? Oh, let's say like Southland City was about $1 million short in actual cash and pledges to keep the bank satisfied for them to be able to, buy our land at the amount that they'd agreed to. And Pastor CJ apparently shared that in a sermon. Somebody that doesn't even attend Southland calls him up the next day saying, let's see what we can do about getting you that $1 million. And he basically said, one, nobody can know that I'm the one that did this. Two, I can't get anything in return for this. And of course, Pastor CJ says, yeah, we can handle that. And so let's go across the street here to my bank and look into getting you that $1 million you need. Lots of stuff like that just falling into place. God practically pushing us toward making this move. So the three-way swap happens. And you've got 3 congregations whose 3 lead pastors worked together in harmony better than any 3 pastors from a single denomination could have done, right? And all of this is happening, and I think it's just step 1. Okay, God's purpose for Valley Christian Church wasn't to get us into Bethlehem Lutheran's old facility. Okay, that's just step 1 of what his purpose is. Now, what's going to happen that we are out of debt and can now start investing funds in people instead of plaster? Oh, I'm really looking forward to some great things that God's got in store. And here we are. We've now had some practice in actually listening to God and following what he says instead of sitting around twiddling our thumbs worrying about money. No, let's go forward and concern ourselves with ministry instead of money. That's what I think is the really great story about this. Three-way church shop, and the future is coming at us full bore, and I love it.